Today, we're going to have a quick look, not a full review, just a quick first look at the brand new device coming from Lost Vape, and also the brand new chipset coming from Evolve. We got the Therion DNA75C and the Evolve DNA75C chipset. The C stands for color because we now have the new color screen. Now, this was sent over by Lost Vape to show you guys this is a prototype, and I don't yet have the final firmware installed. Lost Vape is going to send me the final firmware, so I'm going to be a little limited on what I can show you guys, and I'm waiting on the spec sheet from Evolve, so I won't be able to go over any numbers, but we're going to save all that for the full review. Now, I'm being told by Lost Vape that these will be shipping to vendors on May 20th, and the price is going to be between $139 and $149. Now, the new Therion is using the same exact box as the previous Therion. So as you can see here, everything remains the same. The battery door, the 510 connection, the box itself, they're using the same exact box. The only difference are going to be the cutouts on the face, because the new DNA75C has a larger color screen and we now have a 3-button layout. Now, a few of the features of the DNA75C, of course, the color screen, the 3-button layout. With the 3 buttons, it's much more easier to navigate and to use. And now we can actually do things in the menu that we used to only be able to do in eScribe. So if you don't have eScribe, you don't have a Windows computer, you can actually navigate, you can set up, you can do everything inside the menu on the main screen. And with the 3-button layout, it just makes it so much easier to navigate. Now, once again, this is not the final firmware that's installed, so it's a little limited on the options, but I will show you guys the basics. So here's going to be your standby screen when the device is locked, and another cool feature on the 75C is that we have Theme Creator. You can make themes, you can download custom themes, you could change the background image, you could change the color, the font, you could change the looks and make it personal to you. Now, because I'm not using, or I don't have the final firmware, I'm not going to be able to show you guys how the themes work, but in the full review, we'll go through the themes and I'll show you all the different theme options. So to unlock the device, it's going to be 5 clicks. You'll see down there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's going to be your main screen. When in temperature mode, we got your resistance, battery indicator, percentage of your battery, the type of material you're using, wattage, temperature, and settings. Below that, keep in mind we have 3 buttons now. We're going to have your up, your menu or select button, and then your down button. So when you're navigating through the different settings, keep in mind when you want to select a setting, you hit the select button, and don't use the fire button as a select button because it doesn't really work like that. For instance, when I go to settings, if I hit the firing switch, it's just going to fire the device. So you actually have to hit the select button down here. So let's go into material. I'll hit the select button. Stainless steel 316, titanium, nickel 200, wattage, Kanthal, nichrome, an IFE 30, stainless steel 430, then back to 316. So if I go into, let's just say, wattage mode, you'll see the wattage. Kanthal, let's go into stainless steel again, even though I don't have a temperature coil installed. Alright, so now I have the option of going down, and now I can adjust my wattage and my temperature both on the same screen, and I don't need to do any kind of crazy button presses like I used to have to do on the original DNA. You have to lock the device and do 5 clicks in order to get into the temperature and all that. So now wattage, of course, being a 75 watt, hit select. We can adjust this up to 75 watts. And then once you select your wattage, you can go down. You can adjust your temperature. Now when you go up to 600 degrees, it's not going to round robin because in the settings, you're going to set it to either Fahrenheit or Celsius. I have it set for Fahrenheit. So now when I get down to the lowest setting, it's not going to go into Celsius, it's going to stay into Fahrenheit, which is nice. Now if I go into settings, you're going to see that we have a few options in settings, and I believe the final firmware will actually have much more to offer than what we have here. So going under atomizer, you'll see stainless steel 430 measures the resistance, and it allows you to select and to adjust all of this. And keep in mind, this is something that you could only do previously in eScribe, but now you can do it through the main screen. So you can measure your resistance, you can adjust your resistance, of course you can adjust the wattage, the temperature, you could turn the preheat on or off, you could adjust the punch, and then go to back, and then we can go into puff info. Once again, all the information is going to be in the menu. You don't have to go into eScribe. And I don't really get into the puff information, but it is there for those that use it. Going into diagnostics, it'll give you all the information on the mod itself, the power you have it set for, the temperature you have it set for, resistance. Let me fire it really quick. There we go. It'll give you the volts, the amps, the battery life, the temperature of the board, and the USB. Now when you plug it in here, I believe it gives you the reading off the USB port, how many amps. I'm not sure why it says V next to it, but I'll figure that out once again in the full review. Go down to back, or actually, see, I keep hitting the fire button, thinking the fire button is the select button, but you have to hit the middle button. And then we have system. And in system, we have just a few options because, once again, it's not the final firmware, but we have the brightness, set your time, your date, the units, and then go down to about, and it'll give you information about the actual chip. You could see serial number, and then I believe it has a puff counter. I believe the firmware version should be somewhere on here. We'll see in the future. All right, go back to there. And then pretty much for the time being, that's pretty much going to be it in the menu. But I believe in the final release of the firmware, we'll have the theme options, and we'll have a few more options. Also, looking at the main screen, I do believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's going to have like a security lock option, because you have the option of hitting any of these three buttons. You'll see the little digits on the screen right there. And I believe what's going on here is that it's going to give you an option to set a personal kind of combination of buttons, so that way you can lock your device, so that way if anyone gets a hold of your device, or let's say your kid grabs your device, they can't unlock it because they need to know the button combination in order to access it. Once again, I don't have the option in my settings, but I can see it on the screen right there. So once again, another cool feature added to the 75C. So that's pretty much going to be it, guys. Like I said, just a real quick look. And like I said, since I'm not running the final firmware and I don't have all the options on it yet, I can't really show you that much. But once Evolve gives the firmware to Lost Vape, once it's ready, they're going to send it to me. I'll install it. And then once we do the full review, we'll go over all the specs, the numbers. I'll show you the theme creator and all the options that were left out in this firmware. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be it. If you guys got any comments or questions on the 75C, please feel free to leave them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and vape on.